What's up, guys? I got a real exciting one for y'all today. I have finally started breaking ground on the biggest project on the channel so far. Not really the biggest project that I've ever done, but it's the biggest project on the YouTube channel so far. I've been working on it for about a week and a half now, and I'm finally at the point where I'm ready to show y'all what I've been working on and start documenting it. But first, I need to bring it outside. That's right, y'all read the title right. We are finally breaking ground on the MACH 5. The project I talked about over a year ago is finally starting. With a small scale, with baby steps. Now, as I'm sure you can probably tell, a lot of work has gone into this before my filming. So pre-filming, a lot of work, about a week and a half worth of work has gone into this. And a lot of it was picture documented, but I didn't take videos of it. One, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Two, I didn't have like the storage space on my devices in order like to record while I had another thing playing the audio, that I was using. I was listening to podcasts while I was doing it. Three, I just wanted to learn how to do it before and just have a good result before I start filming and documenting it. So now that I'm finally ready to do it, I can show you, but at the same time, I know that a lot of it has been missed out on, and if any of y'all are coming to this video expecting like a how-to, then just let me know in the comments that you want to see how I did this and the steps going in. I've got pictures and documents. Here's a couple. I'll just throw up a couple just so you can see a rough idea. But if you want to see everything that I did before here, going from the blocks of foam to this point, let me know in the comments and I will make another video. It's going to be a longer one, more like my older long format videos. It's going to be 20 to 30 minutes of just talking about every single step and all the precautions that you need to do. I'm going to go through a couple of them just so you don't destroy your car or your concept if you're doing this at home. I'm going to go through a couple in this video, but the long-term stuff, let me know in the comments if you do want to see that, because it's not going to fit in this video. I got to go for a little shorter time frame. One of my last videos was like an hour long, and people don't watch an hour-long video, so let me know if you want to see that. But where this video is starting off is the bondo process. Now what you're looking at is a polystyrene MACH 5 made out of these long, giant 4-inch thick sheets of polystyrene styrofoam. This the most traditional styrofoam. This was from a shipment of medicine to a local store. They were getting all refrigerated medicine, and they had a big pallet. So it's like the walls, the 4 walls, the roof, and the floor of 4-inch polystyrene foam. I took them home. Here's a picture of that. Imagine how difficult that was. And after I finished the car, I realized that, oh, hey, welcome back, son. I realized that everything and its mama melts styrofoam. Everything. You can see right here. Let me see, get in the sun. Do you see that filler area? This was the very first thing I glued, or attempted to glue. I used an aerosol spray adhesive, and it immediately started melting this piece. I had to use a bunch of filler foam and just wood glue that in, so that's a lot of wood glue right there. Not very fun. So there's a couple things you need to know before you start making your polystyrene foam concept car. Step 1 is realize that everything melts foam, and you have to get things specifically that don't melt foam. Even things like this. This is a craft foam primer, and that's what it does to foam. It's not safe, even though it says it's safe. So I'm going to be telling you from my trial and error exactly what you need to get. Here is traditional spray paint. Here is foam safe primer. Here is it being done a little bit less stupidly, because this is kind of just like being sprayed straight on. This is kind of being safe with it, and it's still eating the foam. Now over here is car bondo, this traditional Krylon bondo. And you can see it immediately started eating the foam as well. This is black spray paint, also doing the same thing, but black. This, also doing the same thing, also black. Now this area right here you see has nothing eaten through it because underneath it is a large serving of, where are you? There you are. Behr paint and primer. This is traditional interior house paint, and it's exactly what you need because it saved the day for me. I learned from, I'll leave the video link in the description if I remember, that interior house paint is one of the only things that can stop this stuff from melting the foam, mainly because it provides like a condom-like barrier over the entire car that prevents heat transfer. It stops the propellants in these from eating, from having a chemical reaction take place. It's just a large, big condom over the entire car. Now you can see all of the different things. Here, this is 5 layers of paint and primer. I guess you can kind of hear a difference in how thick it is. I think it's 5 layers. This is 3 to 4 because I ran out. I think it should be good enough though. Now this is the bondo just eating straight through the foam. Now this is the same bondo but over the interior paint. You can see it didn't eat anything. It's a paintable, sandable surface, and that's in fact with me sanding it a little bit. This is that same paint, or the same spray paint that ate through. It's ready right there. This has white paint over it. It's good to go. So I'm gonna be bondoing today, doing that part. After that, if it turns out good, it's going to be a decision of whether I do plexi or a plexi fiberglass resin, or if I do a just spray paint clear coat and just be done with it. I don't know which is going to be better. I haven't put that much thought into it yet. But I'm going to be doing bondo today, which is going to be filling in all of these little cracks. Sorry about the train. Filling in all of these little cracks and bubbles and making this a smooth glass-like surface over the entire car, perfect for painting. Once it is bondoed, I'm going to be really slow and careful with this because this is a really important step, because it's been proven that it can eat the foam. So as long as it doesn't, we'll be good to go. Filling in all of these little cracks and crevices so it stops looking like drywall and starts looking like an actual car. Once all these pits are filled up, I'll sand it down, maybe add more bondo, and then once we're actually fully done, I'm going to mask off the things like these inner jams and the interior area and the undercoating, and we're just going to do a large serving of primer over it. Then we're going to sand the primer and get it ready for real paint. So let's just get into the time lapse. I'm pretty excited to start this. Alright guys, it is way too fucking hot out today and I cannot get my GoPro to act right. It keeps acting up. So pause until I get everything working again. Okay, the car is has a nice new coating of shit brown clay on it. It's ready for sanding now. I'm just gonna make sure it completely cures, and then we're good to go. Before I leave, pro tip: please wear gloves when you're working with stuff. Like, learn from my mistakes. My hands feel like 1,000 plane crashes happened inside of them. Like, they are so irritated right now. Like, I can't even believe the chemical reactions that this was happening. It was, sorry about the plane. It was actually good for a good the good first half hour, 40 minutes, but that last 5 minutes, holy shit. My hand is very hurting. More this one than the other one. I don't know why. But pro tip: gloves. And if you're like me and don't have gloves handy, don't do this without gloves. On to the next step. Oh, look at that. Have a gander at that. Obviously, it's a little bit rough. The thing about primer is just going to be able to allow me to sand even further, give me a little bit more of that little condom barrier like we were talking about earlier, so I'll be able to sand it down and find more low points from that. Then I can add more primer, because I don't want to keep adding Bondo. Bondo's a little too thick, so now since we're getting closer to like a smooth surface, we're going to start moving to Bondo for the addition, like to fill in the little porous areas. Nice. Alright. Ow. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry, there's a lot of propellant in the air. Okay. We got some primer on some parts of the car. I'm gonna try to rethink a way to sand this thing, because I'm gonna need a little bit more power. Right now we got some pretty good primer laid down. I'm gonna let the primer rest for a little while, and then I'm gonna practice sanding it. I'm not gonna be doing anything on the other sections I haven't touched just yet. I'm gonna wait till I get some more ammunition. So just give me 1 second. Alright, so I went and picked up some different sandpaper. I went to Harbor Freight. They've got this 60 grit. I've been using 80 grit. This is 60 grit on a way thicker piece of sandpaper for $1.99. That's let's see, 6 pieces. Now obviously this is for a belt sander or orbital sander. Now that's not for the one that I got. I got this. This is $19.99. It's probably gonna be a piece of shit, but it's gonna work pretty well for as long as it does, and then I can probably return it if it breaks. And then I got these for it. They run from 80, 100 to 120 grit. So let's just start, let's keep hand sanding like this, and then when we get to the finer stuff, we're gonna bust this puppy out with the sander. Let's just keep going by hand. I'm on a roll right now. Alright guys, we got the car pretty smooth, down to a point. I'm going to use the rest of the Bondo I have, filling up the small areas in the nose, the parts where the original foam is starting to show through and it's beginning to melt with primer. I'm also going to touch up the sides of the wings and the little areas around the wings, because those are also open pockets for the foam to melt. after that, we're gonna just put more primer on and just keep sanding. We're finally gonna whip this this bad boy out once the primer dries and the Bondo dries. But let's just apply that last little bit and see what we have left. Ooh, she powerful. Ooh, she real powerful. Alright, it's looking real smooth here. I'll bring it down so you can see it. Looking really, really smooth. So now we're going to do a thick coat of primer that'll allow us to sand it even finer. Not much more to say. Let's just keep going. Let's keep working.
Chucky got the sauce, bitch.
You know, on second thought, the more I think about it and the more time I spend thinking about it, the worse my headache gets, and like I've been exposed to way too much spray paint and Bondo and chemicals. Like even with doing this pretty much the whole time, I definitely should have taken more precautions and got a breath mask. So one, my motivation's dead and I don't want to do this anymore today. And two, I'm not going to do this until I get a little breath mask for my face. I don't want mesothelioma. So I guess this is actually where I'm gonna end the video. This is gonna be part 1 of the Mach 5 build. I'm gonna call this the Mach 5 build, even though this isn't gonna be the full scale Mach 5. This is still the first baby steps into making the full scale Mach 5. I'm really excited about this. Expect to see a lot more of this in the future. Well, guys,
I just wanna be the one you love. I just wanna be the one you love. I just wanna be the one you love.